What's up, guys? I'll be over there in a second. I'm getting super frustrated. Part of the trouble of having a decent day, I guess, is that my brain will completely crash it. To my family. As I've mentioned, and I should have put this in the title, I've mentioned before that I have visual snow syndrome. That's where you see there's a lot of things that come with visual snow. When you first start getting it, and I started getting it probably when I was like 17, maybe even earlier than that. You start seeing static, kind of like how this screen looks. If you look at the screen, at least on mine, I can see a lot of static moving around, kind of like an old television. If you look at it, you can kind of make it move. Well, that's my visual field. At least it was many years ago. And for something that's not supposed to be progressive, and again, just like benzo withdrawal, doctors don't really know a lot about visual snow. There's research going on, within the last so many years, but visual snow comes with a lot of things, like you see trails, shadows, and you can hallucinate a little bit and stuff like that. And it's just, the problem is my visual snow has gotten really, really bad, to where it's like a continuous hallucination. And I'm going to talk to my regular doctor to see a higher up visual doctor. Now, although they won't know anything about visual snow other than what it is, and it's not something you can help it other than with like certain drugs you could try, but it's very rare they work. I just want the diagnosis on the books, because it's a really bad issue and it's very debilitating. If they offered me drugs, I'd probably say, okay, I'll try it, but not really try it. But between that and the benzo withdrawal and the bad anxiety, I have weird perception issues of like space, of me, where I like this. The room I'm in is not too bad. It's like, I like that it's a square room. The room out there, it's got a high ceiling and it goes up on an angle. And my sensory issues, like, I just got on. I like your name. I just got on 4.5 minutes ago. So for some reason, my brain causes anxiety when I look around a room in the space, especially if it's a big space. It just blows my anxiety. This room, for some reason, like, I look around and like the visual snow that I do have, me try to explain it. When I look at something, I see pure static. Uh, Lines in the walls, they continually kind of move like that, like that. It's really hard to explain. I see a lot of shadows and flashing. That's another thing. I've been writing down. Oh, I got that one. Symptoms lately. I just want them to write it. Hi, Cindy. I just want them to write it down. Like my neurologist knows I have it, and he mentioned it in notes, but I don't know if there's a proper actual diagnosis code for visual snow. All I know is it's getting really bad, and it's worse because of the withdrawals and all that stuff. I mean, when my body's ramped up, the visual snow gets worse, and since it's always ramped up, it's always worse. So I assume in time, um, when I'm done tapering Remeron at some point and my body calms down a little bit, it'll probably calm down a little bit, as well as my anxiety. And anxiety fuels it, just like everything else. But things move all the time in my visual field, and perception of space is really fucking weird. And it was funny because I was having a decent day today, and I was sitting there watching TV, and I looked up at the corner of the ceiling, and it just fucked with my head. It totally ruined my day. It didn't help that I just ate, so that eating makes me very tired. If I have a pretty decent day, most likely my decent day will come with being very tired later. I doubt it would, but it should. But my idea is to just learn. I haven't talked to an actual eye doctor about it. I'm not talking about my regular eye doctor for glasses. He just said, just like everybody else, which mind you is kind of a good thing, because the fact that doctors know about visual snow. Because when I had it, I'm 44 years old right now, going on 45, and I think I got this. I started to realize it around 17, 18, 19 years old, somewhere around there. And I was at my regular doctor, and the nurse practitioner there. This was when I was living in Arizona. Not that matters, but I was living in Arizona at the time, and I was doing an eye chart. So it wasn't an eye doctor, just regular. I was doing an eye chart, and I said, I can see it. I can see the chart clearly, but I can't see it through all the fuzz. That's what I said. And she looks at me like, what? And I'm like, what? Oh, shit, this ain't normal. Because I had it for a little while before that, but I'm like, because that's when the static was like on the screen, I see static. And that was probably how it looked when I was, 20 some odd years ago. So it was lighter then, and it was still sucked, but it wasn't anything major. I mean, to everybody else, it's probably major, but to me now, I wish my vision looked like the screen static. At least I'm seeing that on my end. But so that was the day I realized I had visual snow. I took till last year, maybe, until doctors actually said they knew what it was, and instantaneously, my neurologist says, "Yeah, I know what visual snow is, and there's nothing we can do for it." I'm like, "Fuck." I already knew that though. They're doing research in the UK now. I've been keeping up on it for 10 years, and hopefully one day, I don't think in my lifetime, there'll be help for it, but it's pretty intense. And mind you, That's part of the problem when I close my eyes, because all the visual stuff I see, all the issues, it all happens when I close my eyes. It does not go away ever. So when I close my eyes, I see static, I see shapes, I see movement, I see flashing. It's nuts. And so that's why you know it's neurological. Something's gone wrong neurologically in the visual cortex part. It's really fucked up. I don't normally talk about it in depth. So, but it makes, they always think, you should try this. That was part of the reason I went on benzos in the first place, is to see if it would help. The visual snow and my anxiety and stuff, if it would calm it down. And when my anxiety is pretty calm, it helps. It helps me deal with it. So anyway, I'm going. I made an appointment with my regular doctor. It's like mid next month. I'm going to talk about getting a sleep study because I want to see if I have sleep apnea. I snore all the time, and weird, after all these years of me snoring and doing all this crap, feeling tired every day. I'm not counting now because now it's obvious, but I've always been so tired. So maybe I have sleep apnea. Maybe it'll help if I have to, if I, something like that. We'll see. So I'm going to check for sleep apnea maybe, and then I'm going to ask him about sending me to a higher up eye doctor, not just a regular eye doctor, but there's another one that he could send me to, and I'm going to talk to him about it. I just want to talk to him about it. Maybe he can look in my eyes and make sure there's nothing else weird going on, but I mean, I know there isn't. I know what it is, and I know they can't do anything for it. But I'd like the diagnosis, and I want to say, what do I do if this gets too bad? Because it's not supposed to be progressive, but for me, it's been very progressive. And, it's hard to live seeing trails and shadows and shapes and movement. And, I mean, lines move. I mean, there's nothing that's normal. You're constantly slightly hallucinating. It's fucking terrible, to be honest. Okay, let me see. Would it qualify for disability? No, I doubt it. I should be on disability, and from what I go through, but I just want things down anyway, just in case I ever try to get disability one day. But yeah, it is hard. Yeah, I've always had floaters, but honestly, they don't bother me too much because they're pretty organic and I kind of know what they are. It's not neurological, I see them, but it doesn't matter to me. Like, it realistically all started with my visual issues with floaters. I'd look at the sky and it looked like hundreds of sperm floating around, flying around. That's how it started with me, like trying to like wonder what my eyes, deal is with my eyes. But I don't really, I don't have like big thick floaters that float like really slow. I don't have that. More really fast movement stuff. They catch me off guard sometimes, but those are kind of the least of my issues. Uh, there's one thing since I had a decent day today, of course I got a lot done today, and now I'm starting to get really tired, and now my symptoms are just ramping up. So fucking stupid. It's really silly, but anxiety, it fuels fucking everything for me. Even when I'm having a decent anxiety day, if I just sit and think about it for like 30 seconds, it literally ruins my whole fucking night. That's the thing, I mean, I'm It's almost not. How many times have I been to a doctor and they say, well, we can't do anything for you? You would think of at that point with my list of symptoms that they would just give me disability and say, well, we can't help this guy. We tried. We've tried with medications and stuff and didn't work. So, well, but hey, but if I can get something noted that, because I mean, I don't know if they might give me some eye tests, and I mean, I might have to bullshit them a little bit and get like a diagnosis. I don't want to lose my driver's license, though. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I will talk to my regular doctor. I think it's the 12th of next month, and then have him refer me to these. I hate having to do all these, but I have the insurance to cover it, so I'm gonna do it. But you would think I'd be eligible for something, but at this point, all I have is fibromyalgia. That's the only diagnosis. I have some anxiety and depression and shit, but that doesn't keep you from working. At least some financial help. I don't even if it was some, fucking A. But it's like I have too many bad days. When I have an okay day, it's still not good enough. I still struggle through the day. There's always something going on. Yeah, and that's part of the problem, Mr. Sucks. It's funny that I can't like really call you your names. So you're Mr. Sucks. If benzo withdrawal, and I'm going through the Remeron withdrawal, and since I fucked up my Remeron and threw my nervous system into a complete flux 4 months ago, like everything's worse. So my sensory issues and the visual snow and everything is like fucking way worse. See, I don't even know if you're Mr. or Mrs. But we're gonna go with Mr. for as long as I can tell. Mr. Manifestos. Yeah, OCD. Mine got worse. Fuck. I'm writing a new list of symptoms because I lost my old one. Miss Manifesto. Cat. I started getting OCD too because my brain, you get those looping thoughts and things just don't stop unless you just do it. Ugh, it sucks. Mine's not as bad as it used to be, though. It does get better. Mine was pretty bad a few years back. Tired. I want to do a video soon about all the symptoms I had and timeline of it and stuff like that. I had a whole list that I used to take to doctors with me, a list of symptoms and whatnot. And it's so fucking funny how quick they just glance at it and then they put it down. Or sometimes, most of the time, they just give it back to me. And I say, no, that's not for me. That's for you. Ugh. Yeah, being polydrug, that's bullshit. That's the only thing. I only got, after I was, basically cold turkey from benzos, I got on Remeron for the sleep. And I mean, I would have never done that if I knew what it was. But that's my only hell right now, is the rest of the Remeron. And as many times as people wanted me on all these different drugs to help what I'm going through, I just won't do it. I'd rather die. Because it's not going to help my fucking symptoms. I mean, I know that. Nothing, why would it help? And if it did help one symptom, it would make 20 of my other symptoms way worse. This is fucking ridiculous. I'm sick of feeling so detached, you know. The DPTR is so fucking ridiculous. It's just stupid. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Um, I like to talk because I don't want to put it all on my girlfriend and everybody else around me. So I like coming on here and talking. I was gone from here for a long time because I was okay with doing what I was doing, but I was also making my girlfriend nuts with it. So yeah, the symptoms. And it's funny. The thing is, people always ask me what were your symptoms. I couldn't even tell you half of them. With that's why I gotta write them down because all of a sudden I'll be like, oh yeah, that one sucks. And that's another thing is that most people don't believe you. It's fucking terrible. 2018, isn't that fucked? This all started 5 years ago for me. I don't know when I started doing videos though. But yeah, I was me and my girlfriend do therapy here and there now. We're doing pretty good. It takes a lot to make a healthy relationship like in this. It's fucking hard. And but I said I would. I mean, I'm not going anywhere, so might as well try harder. And it's working out. But part of the problem was that she couldn't handle it anymore. She couldn't handle me talking about every symptom all the time. It was just too much. And I get that. So I said, well, I'll come on here and do this and just talk to people. And well, nobody says she won't leave because she actually broke up with me 4 or 5 months ago, and that's the reason we're in therapy now. So there was we have our issues, but it's just a lot better now than it was. Well, that's good, Keith. Yeah. I just don't want to burden her with. I mean, she asked me how I'm feeling, and honestly, it's not a question I like to answer. Uh, Half the time I'll be like, I'm not in great shape, but I don't want to talk about it. But when I start getting scared, then I need to talk about it. Like tonight is kind of one of those nights, but I came on here to vent a little bit, and that should get me through the night. So, as much as I may help you guys help me a lot too. So it works both ways. But yeah, holding back, you got to do it to a point. You can, I mean, it's not easy for the people who have to hear how you suffer. And mind you, she's been listening to me suffer for 5 years. And like when I was sitting out there having dinner, because I had a decent day, I even made dinner and stuff like that. And I was eating dinner. I was looking up by the ceiling, and my anxiety started going, and the perception of the room was fucked up. And it was just so weird, and it scared me. Oh, that's good to hear. I'm glad I helped. Man, that's the least we can do, right? But sometimes you got to vent. Sometimes I cry and cry and cry. And don't be scared to do it. Sometimes crying makes people worse. For me, it's a huge like I need to let it out. It's like anxiety that I need to let out, and I'll just break down. I'm not breaking down as much as I was 4 months ago. Yeah, YouTube help. I mean, it's amazing. Imagine doing this without knowing what you're going through. It's nuts. No, it's actually been a decent day until now. So, schizophrenic. You know, here's a funny story. I don't smoke weed. I used to for many, 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 many years. But of course, the time I stopped smoking weed, it became legalized. Of course. Well, anyway, so I was talking to my psychiatrist, and I know her pretty well now, so I can ask weird questions and stuff like that. Oh no, this was my therapist. So I was telling her about a conversation I had with my psychiatrist about, because my psychiatrist is against smoking weed, using CBD. She always makes sure. So you haven't drank any alcohol, you haven't tried any CBD or anything like that. She doesn't want you doing those things, and I kind of understand why. Because sometimes CBD can, have some of your medications metabolized different and stuff like that. So whatever, not a huge deal. But I was talking to my therapist about it because my psychiatrist said, we can reevaluate you in 2 years if you want to try CBD, which was funny because I don't really care. But for my psychiatrist to say that was a really huge surprise, because she's really against all that stuff, which most psychiatrists are. They're for their pills, though. But so my therapist started talking. She's like, yeah, there was a study done. They were in a meeting, and there was a study done about the legal marijuana, and that a percentage of people that so stupid, that a percentage of people who smoke this legalized weed become schizophrenic. And I stopped her. I'm like, you've got to be fucking kidding me, right? I'm like, after what I've fucking gone through with the benzo stuff, you guys have no clue what's going on. But 0.00000.001 person becomes schizophrenic somehow or some way, and from the marijuana. So that's where Farm was pushing this shit. It's so funny. The one thing that really helps people, they're going to try to push it away so they can push their fucking pills. But yeah, schizophrenia from smoking weed. And she's like, oh, the weed today is just so much stronger than what we had before. I'm like, yeah, but what you had before was coming from some person you didn't even know. You didn't even know what you were getting. At least today you know what you're getting, and it's up to you how much to smoke. I wish I could smoke weed. I wish I was clear-minded and I could handle stuff like that, because I really loved smoking weed. Totally kept me happy. Yeah, exactly. That's what I should have said. They were probably predisposed to it to a point. I mean, I don't see how weed would make you schizophrenic unless they smoked so much of it. I just don't see how that would happen anyway. I'm not schizophrenic, and I smoked weed for 20 years, a lot fucking of it. I do think that weed almost predisposed me to anxiety, though. No, sorry to hear that, Cindy. That sucks. Yeah, it's like they might not have been schizophrenic until they put them on a buttload of medications. And that's what scares me, And that's what keeps me going, no matter how sick and fucked up I get. As long as I can talk and feel like I know what I'm talking about, even though I hallucinate all the time. I'm not going in on medications. Yeah, it's just really strong, which is cool. It's fine. I don't do it, but if I did, I would get like a really high CBD, low THC, but THC just gives me anxiety. I don't like being high because I always feel out of my mind anyway. So for me, it's just not a good mix, which is weird because I was high for like 20 years. It pretty much, and weird thing is, once the benzo thing happened, I stopped smoking weed, no problem. Obviously, there was no withdrawal from that. Maybe there was a little, I don't know, but I didn't really feel any. But yeah, anyway, that was just a funny story. I thought. I'm like, how quick they come up with a problem with marijuana. Like now all of a sudden you can be schizophrenic from it. But it's like God knows if you have problems with when it comes to benzos, they'll never fucking say there's a problem. Getting tired. Been tired, and that's probably why my symptoms have kind of ramped up. Yeah, they destroy lives. And I'm glad they can help some people, but they have no fucking idea. I always see people saying, "Yeah, benzos, they're the reason that they can actually live their lives and stuff." And yet I hear them complaining about all these things that I know what benzos are doing. I have this problem with insomnia. I have problems with neuropathy. I've got this and that. It's like, yeah, it's all coming from fucking benzos. But these drugs are saving their lives. And I'm like, when years from now, you're gonna be in my fucking position. Hope you don't get polydrugged. I just wish some of the things that for me aren't getting worse. A lot of things are a lot better, but ever since I fucked up the Remeron 4 or 5 months ago, um, I just have to wait till my nervous system gets a little better before I can taper the rest of that. Hey, Sam. Yeah, that's good advice. Well, Keith, I mean, I've been pretty right with everything so far. So I think what I say is going to be pretty right on. Um, I've been off benzos for 4 years and 11 months. It's almost 5 years. I've been tapering Remeron for about 4 years, I'd say. I don't remember, but my timeline was looking different 4 or 5 months ago, but now it's different because ever since I tapered the Remeron a little too fast and fucked up my nervous system again. And when I mean I fucked it up, I fucked it up. So I would say it's going to take me probably about 2 years once I start tapering the Remeron to get off the Remeron. If I do it really, really, really slow, just so I don't fuck it up again. So I'll give myself 2 years. And after that, I mean, once I'm off stuff, I mean, I honestly don't even care if I fully heal. I just want to be better, you know? I want to be better than I am now. I want to be able to, I want some decent days all the time because I'll never feel perfect, to be honest, because I've got health issues in general that are never going to make me feel good. I mean, I've always had DPDR to a point. I've always had visual snow. I've always had these like problems that make me, like fibromyalgia. I've always had that. So I always feel fucked up. So I'm not worried about feeling great. But I think a good year after off medications, I think I'll be much better. Yeah. Yeah. People just don't get it. There's so many people on these pills and they have no idea what's going on. They have no idea how much it's destroying people. And literally, I there's people that are on disability that shouldn't be. I see people on disability all the time, and they're living their lives so much better than I am. And what am I going to do now? Oh, I need disability. And they'll say, well, why? What's your diagnosis? Oh, I have anxiety and depression and fibromyalgia. And they're going to be like, go fuck yourself and get to work. No, I'm not going to take anything. Doesn't matter. If you're talking about for anxiety, no, I'm just not going to take anything because the anxiety is coming from me. I've always had anxiety, but the major anxiety comes from Remeron and me needing to get off Remeron and tapering Remeron and stuff like that. Once I'm off Remeron for a while, that anxiety is going to completely calm down. So I don't want to get on a new drug, even though clonidine isn't like it's like the next thing to hydroxyzine. Basically, it's not huge, but yeah, that's exactly me too. That's why, like, when I didn't sleep for 11 days after I fucked up my Remeron, um, I didn't want to get on anything else, but I figured, you know what? I know things now that I wish I would have known then. So I did hydroxyzine for about 2 weeks, and that got me back on track. I was fine. If I would have done that after I got off benzos, I wouldn't be in the position I am right now. Would probably be about 40 to 50% better than I am. It's a fucked up thought. I'm gonna head off here in a minute. I'm gonna go take a bath. My second bath of the day. For some reason, my computer fan's going crazy. Like it's just so much work to have this live video going. Well, it's been fun chatting to you guys. It's always nice to bitch about this stuff and not annoy our other people in our lives. We can just kind of annoy each other, which is much nicer. You too, Chris, and yes, yeah, no problem. I don't mind coming on. I pretty much come on every day now. I just have this huge need to talk about it. It's very good therapy for me lately. I don't know why, but it helps me a lot. For a long time, I didn't have to, but I do now. So I know I have a long time coming with the taper, and I don't know when I'm going to start that or how I'm going to be able to handle it and still try to work. Boy, you gang in there, but I will hang in there. Thanks. You guys as well. Normally, I'm not on this late, but usually got to work. Usually, it's 8:14 my time. Usually, I'm on about 4:30, 4:45. Ugh, gross. So, had a good dinner. Thanks, I appreciate it. Okay, you guys take care.